Hello, welcome along to my 2020-2021 predictions for the Sky Bet Championship. So 24 clubs in the second tier in England, starting from 24th, working my way up to first. Who's going to go down? Who's going to get promoted to the Premier League? Shall find out now in terms of what I think there. So on 24th spot, I'm going to go for Sheffield Wednesday. They got a 12 points deduction, so that will significantly hamper their chances. Do know from experience that teams that do have financial issues, points deduction, that it usually doesn't end well, and there is a really good chance that they will go down to League One, unfortunately. Who knows, there might be further punishments along the way as well too. So that's why I'm going to go for them. And 23rd, I'm going to go for Rotherham United. They a bit of a yo-yo Championship League One club traditionally. 22nd place, I'm picking a Luton Town. They just managed to stay up last season, and that was some achievement because they're quite a small club. Sort of remember the days they were in non-league football, so just to get all the way up to this level is a really big achievement for them. And 23rd spot, to justify, I'm going to go for Wycombe Wanderers. It's their highest ever position that they've been in before. Them, just like Luton Town, have managed to work their way up the divisions and get to the second tier. So they were very fortunate with the COVID situation and their season coming to abrupt, that they were managing to go to the playoffs and going up that way, winning the playoff final. Because if the season came to a finish, they possibly might not have got those top 7 or so spots. So they were the luck of the draw, but they do have a very experienced manager, the longest serving manager in the Championship, 7 years, 340 days, with Gareth Asbreath. So be nice to see him carrying on with the club. Wycombe, 7 years player as well too, so a good 14 years with this club. So if he can do the job and managing to keep them alive in the Championship, then he shall stick around. And 20th spots are going to go for Barnsley. They spent 1.75 million was their top signing for Dominic Fraser this season. Got lots of different information sort of pulling out there how the top players signings for each club, also the managers, how long have they been at the club for, and past 5 seasons or so that I managed to draw these predictions from. So I'm just giving you bits and pieces there to not make the video go on forever. So that was the Barnsley situation. 19th place are going to go for QPR. QPR, they signed Tony Lesnar for $2 million. They got QPR 46-1 odds to win the Championship. And Mark Warburton, been at club for just over a year there. He's been previously at Brentford, Rangers and Nottingham Forest. 18th spots, I'm going to go for Birmingham. They signed Fran Felipe, 1.8 million, an attacking midfielder. Yeah, Birmingham, they didn't do too great last few seasons, 20th, 17th, 19th place. So again, the same sort of position there, not really going anywhere, but ultimately staying in the Championship. And 17th spots, I'm going to go for Preston North Ends. So I think they're going to have a big decline from 9th place that they had last season there, as their top signing so far anyway, as they still got quite a bit more time, of course, to make more signings. But Graham Burke for $250,000 and Mark Warburton been at the club for a year. So, yeah. Oh, that's QPR. Preston. Alex Neil been at the club for 3 years, so been here for a while, been at Norwich a couple of seasons, Hamilton a couple of seasons, so possibly they could do better, but I think they're going to have a big decline. And 16th spot, I'm going to go for Coventry. Newly promoted team, but it's a good base this time around as where did it go? Mark Robin's been at club for 3 years there, so have experienced managers. Pretty unusual for managers to be 3 years plus. There's only just a handful of these clubs that have had a manager for a few seasons. The rest pretty new onto the job. 15th place, I'm going to go for Huddersfield. They were in the Premier League a couple seasons ago, but they had a shocking season last time around. But I did expect that to happen as they just dropped out of the Premier League, losing every single game basically. And yeah, nothing too much to build upon. But they should make a bit of a comeback here. Terence Kongaloo signed for $8 million. Centre back could make all the difference. 14th spots, I'm going to go for Millwall. They got Gary Rowett in charge. Been at the club for just under a year. And their top signing, Troy Parnett, for $3.6 million. And 13th place, they're going to go for Bristol City. Previous seasons, they had 12th, 19th, 16th, 18th, and 12th place finishes. So mid-table, safety anyway. 12th place is Middlesbrough. They got Neil Warnock, the legend, who is a very old manager. He is 71 years old. He's managed 17 teams. He's been at Sheffield United for 8 seasons, Crystal Palace for 3 seasons, Cardiff for 3 seasons, and the West just the odd season or so. But that should help them boost themselves up the table, as last season they finished all the way down in 17th spot. 11th place, I'm going to go for Reading, and I think they can cause a surprise this season. The bookies say they're 56-1 championship winners all the way down, and they think they're going to finish like 20th or something. Something really low, but looking at the situation, they signed Ovi Ijawi for $3.2 million, and their manager, if I can find it, they just signed the other day there with Visico Panik, Serbia. He's managed, been at the Serbia youth clubs, under 18, under 19, under 20 for 7 years. So getting that good experience at an international level, I think will be quite helpful. Chicago Fire for 4 seasons as well too. And at 10th spots, I'm going to go for Nottingham Forest. A couple of good back seasons. 9th place is Stoke City. They made some good signings. Plus, they got Northern Ireland manager who... yeah, so they signed Badon Nadia for $6.8 million. And yeah, they got Michael O'Neill in charge for them, and been at Northern Ireland for 9 years previously. 8th place, they're going to go for Blackburn Rovers. They signed Thomas Kamitsky, $2.4 million. The biggest signing for a goalkeeper, the only club in the championship to have their top signing so far being a goalkeeper, so pretty unusual there. And they got Tony Mowbray in charge, so he's been there for 3 years. So once again, one of those managers pretty rare who's stayed at this club for a few seasons. In 7th place, I'm going to go for Cardiff. Welsh club, have been in the Premier League in recent seasons. They got Neil Harris, a long-term coach as well too. In 6th spots, I'm going to go for Derby County. They're usually in the playoff sort of discussion. Fifth place, I'm going to go for Bournemouth. Had some management changes with Eddie Howe leaving, but they have got Jason Tindall they brought in, who has been as a Bournemouth assistant for 11 years, so he knows just about what Eddie Howe knows, you would have to imagine so. And fourth place, I'm going to go for Watford. They made the biggest spendings by far in the Championship, and their top signing was Pervis Esterman for $15 million. Wow. But they do suffer a bit in terms of their management changes, as they got through 3 managers last time around in the Premier League, including sacking one with just a couple of games to go, which ultimately lead them into the Championship. So if they're able to stick with who they got at the moment, which is Vladimir Evic, who has managed Polk for 7 years and Makiev Tel Aviv for 2 years, then that should help them push to the promotion and ultimately the Premier League once again. Third place, I'm going to go for Swansea. They're my second favourite English side. Things are looking up for them as well too, so not, completely biased here. They signed Morgan Gibbs-White for $7.2 million. And they got Steve Cooper in charge, who has managed England under-16, under-17 level there, so good international experience could also help them here. In second spot, I'm going to go for Norwich. They kept their old manager, which is quite weird considering they finished dead last in the Premier League, losing a whole bunch of games in the end and going down with a bit of a whimper. And usually I was sort of really push them down the table, but Norwich is a bit of a different kettle of fish, as they quite often a yo-yo club between the Premier League and the Championship. So Daniel Farke has been there for 3 years, 96 days. He even managed the Dortmund second division for 2 years, and also the Lippstadt clubs. That's a German club there. Norwich, they signed Oliver Stoop for $7.2 million as well too, so they're putting in the work to go back up for next season. And to top the Championship, they missed out last time round. They had to go to playoffs and ultimately lost in the final to Fulham. It is Brentford's, but they got Ollie Watkins, the second top goal scorer from last season, with 25 goals, so that should really help them push to promotion. And also they got even Tony, who is tipped as the second highest top goal scorer on the odds there, after Timu Puki at $8.50. He's valued at 9-1. Ollie Watkins in third with 9-1 odds as well too, also from Brentford. So this could be the opportunity for Brentford to push to promotion and be in the Premier League for the very first time. It's been 74 years since they've been in the top flight. So let's just hope that they sort things out at this time around. They got Thomas Frank in charge. He's been at Denmark manager in the youth levels, under 16, 17, 19 as experience as well too. So those are my thoughts and predictions for this season's Championship. Feel free to put your own thoughts and predictions down below there. Who do you think is going to get promoted to the Premier League? Who's going to go down to League One there? And I'll make sure to put all my picks in the description below as well too, so you can remember where I placed each club. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Comment below your thoughts, opinions, anything else you want to add, any other leagues you want me to predict as well too. Feel free to mention it. Cheers.